Welcome to the podcast. I'm Mae.
I'm Max.
And I'm Ben, and we were had.
Can you believe it?
There are twists and there are turns.
Defleshed is a standard death.
Oh, that's fun.
We were had.
We were. Today we're talking Russia. Very timely.
Wow.
I feel like I'm the designated Russian analyst.
Wow, nobody else wants to touch it.
Yeah.
But you've got
You're
it.
also a geek, so you know all the
No, all the what?
all like
Big
the
countries.
history, all the big, strong countries.
You're also a commie fuck, so it fits. But go ahead.
Russia is a big country. It's a powerful country. Have you seen this?
What is that?
Kamala Harris explaining the situation of Russia and the Ukraine, and she just literally like lists things about Russia, and it's like it is a large country. There's a lot of people in the country.
So Putin, okay. And Putin goes into Ukraine.
We really attack
okay.
Kamala a lot in this podcast.
It's just fun.
It's a weird,
fun.
weird
It's fun.
punching bag.
Why is it weird, Ben?
I'm talking. I'm speaking. So we're talking Russia, specifically Grigori Rasputin, one of the most iconic, mysterious characters in all of Russian history.
Ooh. He's like a witch, right?
A mystic. Let's call him a mystic.
Oh.
A priest of sorts.
I thought he was like a president. I knew nothing about this topic.
No, what's
Oh,
interesting about
wow.
him is that
That's him on the screen.
he's a behind-the-scenes
At least
guy.
he's a looker.
The thing to know about Rasputin that people always comment on are the eyes. If you want to
Yeah.
take those
Piercing.
piercing.
They look
Yeah.
edited.
They do.
It's real, baby.
It's wild. It's real. 100% Putin.
I think if he shaved that beard, he might actually be pretty handsome.
Well, he
He looks like a
fucked.
Neanderthal.
He fucked.
Just to give
Yeah.
a little teaser, he
fucked.
He fucked.
He
Yeah.
fucked.
All right.
I know some about him because I mentioned this to Ben. I just saw the movie, the King's Man, which is the prequel to the Kingsman films. Rasputin's a character in it. Honestly, very accurate to the actual Rasputin in the film, The
Good
King's
casting.
Man. So good casting and actually enjoyable movie. Go ahead.
I like the first one.
Carry on.
Now we're moving on from Max's reviews of B-rate movies.
Pretty good film. Go ahead, see it.
He was born in 1869. He was born in Siberia. And in case you don't know, Siberia is the cold, desolate area of eastern Russia.
Is it
As
closer to
opposed to
Mongolia?
the tropics of Russia.
Yeah.
Well, it is like Russia. Like, that's where they would send people to the gulag. Like,
Oh, okay.
that is Russia.
Yeah.
Where's Transylvania where the vampires live?
Romania. That's not Russia.
It's all a little Russia.
It's a little Russia. That's a fair point. It would be close.
Max just goes on a big thing. He's like, the Ukraine, also Russia.
Yeah.
Rightfully. should be.
rightfully in their possession. That was a made-up thing.
It's called Kiev, not Kyiv.
Did they have that argument?
Kyiv is the Ukrainian name. That's why we call it Kyiv, like, since the fall of the USSR.
Oh, they renamed it? I thought we were all pronouncing it wrong.
Yeah, I thought so too.
So Kyiv, the way that it's all those cities are spelled now with the I, that's like the Ukrainian spell. My dad explained to me. I didn't know this, but
Yeah.
the I is the Ukrainian spelling. So like actually calling it Kiev, you're like kind of making a statement. You know what I mean?
Oh,
That's the
wow.
Russian.
You're
I've been making statements all over town.
thwarted by my own ignorance once more. That's Dr. Kirschenbaum, famously a Ukrainian and famously a great American.
Great American.
Great American,
Just-
famously.
Famously.
Just because you're from Ukraine doesn't mean you can't be a great American.
I would argue it makes you an even greater one.
You appreciate it.
Yeah.
You should have been leaning into that Ukraine thing and getting booked all over town recently.
You really could have made it your whole personality.
Yeah,
I
you
agree.
should have.
And I didn't. So just so the listeners know, my father was born in the...
You don't know anything
Ukraine.
about it, do you?
Well, he's from the western part. And he like explained to me, he's like, I'm from the west. It's not really where the conflict's going on. I'm like, not this month, you're not.
Yeah.
That's fun.
We are milking this. So Rasputin was born in 1869 in Siberia, and not much is known about his life early on, but he is able to slowly move his way to St. Petersburg, to Petrograd, which was the capital of the time, which is far. I mean, as Kamala pointed out, Russia
Yeah.
is really, really big.
Yeah.
But he has some sort
Insightful.
he has some sort of mystical revelation. The thing to know is that mystical religion and magic and all of this stuff, huge in Russia at this time.
Oh, really? Okay.
So hot in Russia.
So hot right now.
I know you just said it, but what's the time again? Sorry.
This is all going to be late 1800s, early
Okay.
1900s.
Got it.
He was big in World War I, right? He was a figure.
So that'll come at the end of the story. Yeah.
Can I just say I love a Ben Kirschenbaum episode because you don't know what the mystery is until about an hour into the conversation. He does not tell you what is going to happen. Is it a murder? Is it something? What happens? I know he's born in Siberia, and I'm just like, I guess something will
Our
happen.
Bob Lazar episode, we didn't start talking about Bob Lazar until like 30 minutes into the fucking episode.
And what is that episode? The most listened to. So why don't we just trust the method? Trust the process.
All right, go ahead.
The mysteries, there are a lot of mysteries about Rasputin because a lot of people, he's able to, I do need more background. So at this point, it's before communism. There's a czar, a king basically, named Nicholas, ruling Russia with his wife Alexandra, Nicholas Alexandra, famous romance, whatever. And they're ruling Russia. Yeah. And Rasputin is able to kind of infiltrate his way into the royal circle, specifically into Alexandra's ear. She becomes obsessed with Rasputin, with this mystic.
They fucking?
There are
That's a mystery.
There are
Right
a lot
there.
of mysteries
First
here.
mystery.
I'm going to go through 5 mysteries. Actually, we'll go through 4 big mysteries. One of them is, were Rasputin and Alexandra having sex? The answer to a lot of these mysteries are no.
Okay.
But it's still interesting because it really did have an effect on history. So even if everything here is not magical,
Right.
it's interesting. And I'm sorry, him having sex with Alexandra wouldn't be magical. It would just be interesting gossip.
Well, I've heard it's quite good. Can I just say, just give me a nod when you want me to color in anything from The King's Man, if you would like me to bring in any of the information that I have from the film.
I don't want to ruin the experience for just the listener, so I'll just give you like a little ear wiggle. Yeah. So, was he having sex with Alexandra? The reason why Alexandra in particular was obsessed with Rasputin is that they had a son. Nicholas and Alexandra had a son named Alexei, and he was the sole heir, and they had a lot of trouble having a son. And at this point, Russia, you had to be a dude in order to be the leader of Russia.
Yeah.
Problem with
Also
Alexei.
now,
Glad the times have changed.
As opposed to now. But yeah.
Alexei was a hemophiliac. Very, very sickly, a blood disease.
Okay.
Rasputin claimed...
I was thinking, he fucks dead people?
Oh, yeah.
What is that?
It's
necrophilia.
necrophilia.
I was like, this kid's fucking dead people of all
my
people?
God. You got all of Russia? You're fucking the dead?
So Rasputin's trying to cure Alexei of fucking dead people.
Good luck.
He's like,
Quite a
stop.
fetish.
Rasputin's like, stop it. Stop
Hey.
it.
Cool it.
No.
I get it, but stop it.
Hemophiliac famously is actually your blood doesn't clot and you bleed out easily.
Exactly.
Ooh, that's scary.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very bad. Like a
Oh.
paper cut could take you out.
It's really bad.
It's terrible.
Oh my
terrifying.
God. Ooh.
Yeah.
Live in a bubble.
Yeah, so way to bring that up, May. You're making light of that. It's basically one notch below alopecia. Go ahead.
Let's not get
man.
crazy. So he convinces them that with his mystical powers, with his touch, or with his almost
With
like
his
a
eyes.
force, with his eyes, the whole deal, he can cure their son of hemophilia and he
wow.
can be the heir. And there are a few instances, there are 2 in particular, where it seems like he's kind of mystical, that he steps in and Alexei's having I don't know if it was a paper cut. He had some he fell in some carriage accident or something like that. But exactly what you said, one little thing that wouldn't affect most people can affect a hemophiliac really badly.
Yeah.
And Rasputin enters the scene, and by all accounts, Alexei survives even when it was unexpected.
Is hemophilia, is that lifelong? Like no matter what, you don't grow out of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Can you eat a bunch of iron or something and improve it, or does that help? Or
I don't know
is there anything you can do to make that better?
I don't know what the modern medicine is. One thing that is definitely bad for it that people didn't realize at the time was aspirin. So aspirin was around even at this time.
Blood thinner, yeah.
Yes. And possibly the reason why Rasputin, from a scientific standpoint, was actually very helpful is one of the things he said is tell him that fuck off to the doctors. Don't let him see any of the doctors.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And the doctors were probably giving him aspirin and actually making him feel worse. So that's one explanation. The other thing that people say, though, which is kind of related to some of our earlier episodes, is that, I don't know why I said that. It's not related to any of our episodes. But in any case, that he was so calming to both the boy and to the mother that like that could actually have like physical
interesting,
like psychosomatic things.
It's crazy how much that works. Like you can die of a broken heart if you feel
Yeah.
like
It's real.
People
Yeah.
beat cancer. Like it helps you if you believe that you can do it. Like once
Right.
you give up, kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
that to me is
Fascinating.
It's mystical.
It is mystical.
It's mystical.
Yes.
That's because we'll never be able to understand that.
Power of positivity.
Yeah.
That's what you come to this podcast for.
Yeah. Buck up, fuckers.
By the way, the modern way that they combat it now, I guess, is they use some kind of clotting agent that they inject into like the area, and it just like forces it to clot.
Right, because it's
wow.
not. Is it so deadly now? I don't think it is.
I don't think so, but it's still like a problem. But you have to like go get shots and injections.
Got
for
it,
I think.
got it.
Probably from Pfizer. We were brought to you by Pfizer.
Oh, the other thing I should say is that it was nicknamed something like the royal disease, and it's because of all the
Oh.
incest. That's a big reason why hemophilia
Oh.
shows up.
Yeah. Can I just say, not to bring up the King's Man again, but
Please.
a lot of the stuff you're going to talk about was addressed. He does heal the main character in the film. Like the guy's got like a hurt
Well,
leg.
then why are we even doing this podcast?
We could have
It's
just watched
been
the
done.
King's Man. I'm just saying, a lot of it was touched, but a thing that they talk about is the fact that like a lot of the conflict in the world at the time is that like England, Russia, and Germany, three dudes, all cousins, all like first cousins, or like they're all like weird, very related.
Alexandra.
Played by the same actor with different prosthetics on, which is like a good way of showing it. It's like these people. It's so funny because it's like three countries that are about to have an enormous war, and they're run by the same exact family that have been fucking each other for centuries.
Also, kind of makes sense. Families fight.
That's
Yeah.
but like that's
Yeah.
the whole point of the movie. Like
Yeah.
they didn't the kids like argued over like toys as kids, and like that's why this Russian guy's like fuck them all, kill them all.
That's absurd.
Yeah, I love a petty king though.
Yeah, that is fun. The Mad King.
And this king, Nicholas, is not a great king. He was made, his father died earlier than anyone expected. He was kind of, too much was put on his shoulders early on. He's thinks that he's like, the Lord made him the king, and he's not willing to give up any power and all that stuff.
Okay.
So, back to, did Alexandra and Rasputin have an affair? Probably no. However, there is a letter that was leaked by one of Rasputin's enemies, and he had a lot of enemies. And one of the letters, Alexandra says to Rasputin, "I kiss your hands and lay my head upon your blessed shoulders. All I want is to sleep forever on your shoulder in your embrace."
All right, they fucking.
Didn't he famously love like opiates and heroin?
I don't think so. Is
Well,
that Kingsman too?
That was a plot point that might have been made up.
It's possible, right? It's
I feel
totally
like that's
possible.
a weird thing to randomly make up.
They
For
had
the
like
film.
now like you coloring it in. There was like him and Alexandra like have a relationship, but like he is with like the king and or the czar and then the wife, and he's like putting the droplets on their tongues, and like they make it like it's a religious thing, but it's like very clearly just like basically heroin or some
Like
sort of
ayahuasca
opiate.
or something.
Yeah, it's like he's just keeping them drugged up.
He was definitely a lech, like having sex with a million.
Lech?
Yeah, that was a biographer once described him as a lech, and then I incorporated it into my vocabulary.
That's beautiful. Yeah, no, that was seamless.
Thank you. So, but drugs. I'm not sure.
Huh. Let's go with it.
It wouldn't be
It's more fun.
surprising.
But she wants to sleep next to him, not sexually, possibly.
I think it's one of those things
Probably.
where this is just how people talk to each other at the time. If you listen,
Okay.
if you read like Abraham Lincoln's letters to like his friends, it was like, "I miss your
But don't.
big cock."
Isn't Abe Lincoln rumored to be gay, like famously?
Yeah, maybe that explains that.
I missed your big cock.
Afterwards,
You know,
for
that's how
like
people
you,
talk to each
That's just
other.
the times. It's 1855.
Abraham Lincoln was known for having a huge beard. Mary Todd, I believe, was her name.
Great joke.
Thank you. All right, let's end it. We got ourselves a clip.
We got a clip.
We got a clip. That's all you need. So the other mystery that I want to talk about, two more mysteries. One is Rasputin's death. And we could talk more
It's
about
cool
his
that
life.
you've
but
done the different mysteries as sections here. I appreciate that.
because this is one of those guys where, like, so here's the thing. When I say that he has a lot of enemies, it's almost like a de Blasio thing. People on both sides hate him.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The people
He
who...
was fake Italian?
The people who want a revolution, eventually the communists who are going to come into power during World War I, Lenin and, well, Stalin and all these guys, they hate him because he's in with the king who they're trying to overthrow. So they obviously hate him. But then the people who are in with the king don't like him because they think that he has the king and queen's ear and that he's manipulating them and causing them to be puppets and all this stuff. So both sides hate him. Everyone in Russia dislikes this guy.
Okay.
Even the public?
The public, he becomes like a big thing in like journalism and newspapers and magazines and stuff where it's like there are all these interesting caricatures where it's like Rasputin, like the puppet master of the king and the queen. He's making the king look bad.
Yeesh. Okay.
So his death, a lot of people want him to die. The person who eventually kills him, it's like a plot with a few people, but the main guy is this guy Yusupov, who was a noble, very, very rich guy who sounds like he was also just kind of a loser and just sort of never did anything with his life. And he's like, I'm going to kill the devil. I'm going to kill this Rasputin guy. This is my... So the account of his death, according to Yusupov, who obviously is biased, and we'll talk about why, he says he invited Rasputin to his palace to meet his wife Irina, who was actually away at the time, and then served him a platter of cakes and numerous glasses of wine laced with potassium cyanide.
Oh.
To Yusupov's astonishment, Rasputin appeared to be unaffected by the poison.
Oh.
A desperate Yusupov borrowed the revolver of the Grand Duke Dmitri, the Tsar's cousin, and shot Rasputin multiple times, but was still unable to kill him.
Oh, my God.
According to the memoir, this devil, who was dying of poison, who had a bullet in his heart, must have been raised from the dead by the powers of evil. There was something appalling and monstrous in his diabolical refusal to die.
Nope.
There was
All
reputedly...
right, well, you're trying to kill him. Like, this guy's like, this evil fuck won't die.
Yeah, he's being selfish.
Reportedly, water in his lungs when they found the body, when his remains were discovered, indicating that he had finally died by drowning.
Drowning?
They threw him in the water. Chances are this story is embellished because this guy wants to build himself up as the guy who killed this unkillable man.
Right.
But it's still a great story.
That's a great story. Also
addressed in The Kingsman. I got
Except
it.
it's
Yeah,
Ralph
yeah.
Fiennes who does it, but it's fine.
Is Ralph Fiennes play Rasputin?
No, Ralph Fiennes plays the King's Man. He's the lead in the film.
Good actor.
The King's Man, out now on Hulu.
I've never even heard of this movie.
It's not that good.
Well, I saw the first one. The first one's good with
The
Colin
Kingsman.
Firth.
Yeah,
And,
this movie has none of those
okay.
people in it. It's like a prequel.
Okay.
Because it's set in this time.
Okay.
I know you guys aren't going to see it.
So we're up to not the biggest mystery necessarily about Rasputin, but I
he
think
is
the
dead
most-
at this point.
Oh, he's dead. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
so
he
he did
died.
die.
So the question is whether it was like that previous episode we have of the Unkillable Man, where
Right.
it just couldn't get him with poison, couldn't get him with shooting,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
He probably just died.
Was it true? Because they say this in the movie, but I thought it was also a rumor that like he would have a little bit of poison every day to build up tolerance to poison.
Oh, really?
Is that actually true?
Well, he definitely knew that he was maybe going to die. There was already a pretty serious assassination attempt on him a few years earlier where he was stabbed also like many, many times and survived. Maybe he was unkillable. I don't know.
Yeah.
Honestly, the guy seems like magic. Let me tell you
Yeah.
that.
Something's going on. So perhaps the most magical thing about him, Rasputin's penis.
No.
Wow.
There you go.
Oh my God.
Lord.
That might not actually be it, so we'll discuss it.
What?
They
Described.
jarred it? They put it
Why
in a
did
jar?
they jar it?
He was murdered on December 30th, 1916. Legend says that Yusupov cut off Rasputin's penis and tossed it away. The severed
Oh.
penis was taken to Paris, where it was worshipped and used for weird cult rituals.
It looks humongous.
We don't know if that actually is it or if it's just a cow's penis.
Oh, okay.
That was
Oh.
claiming to be Rasputin's penis.
Because I'm like, what the fuck is that thing?
It seems average. That seems about. I'm just looking. Yeah, that seems about right.
That's soft, right? The current owner of the penis bought it for $8,000. Not much. You would think more.
Current
Yeah,
owner
that's
of the
wait,
penis.
what?
Someone bought the penis.
Someone bought the penis. It
I
now
would buy
resides.
it for more than that.
Would you?
I don't know. But like, I mean, that's kind of cool to have Rasputin's penis.
Somebody's. At least it's somebody's dick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right? Exactly.
It now resides in the Museum of Erotica in St. Petersburg.
Oh,
Wow.
Insane.
That's crazy. I wonder if we can put that up on Instagram.
And the penis was famous because of like the fact that he used it so much?
Yeah, I mean, he was having sex with everyone. People accuse. So one thing that was, who would I compare it
Was
to?
he a bi king or was he only fucking women?
I think just women. He sort of targeted a lot of these rich women who didn't have much else going on in
Oh, okay.
Russia. And he created like a bit of a cult around it. It's a little Manson-y.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
it's
Harem. He had a harem.
Yeah, that all sort of would die for him and like do
Yeesh.
anything for him.
I don't
Okay.
like that.
Yeah, that's weird.
No, the whole thing is really there are more things about him. The fact that everyone hated him is part of why it's so mysterious because rumor upon rumor upon rumor was created about this guy.
People love to talk shit about him.
People love to talk shit about him, especially if they didn't like the king because they want to make it seem like the king is almost like he's the Dick Cheney and the king is Bush.
So he was like more like a Kim Kardashian type of figure.
He's exactly like Kim. That's exactly right.
Like, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
So I'd like to believe the penis thing just because it's fun and because it's described in books as equine, which is a fun word to describe it.
It was a horse cock.
It's a horse cock.
It's a horse
Yeah.
cock. Okay.
It seems like he did not have an affair with Alexandra based on
Okay.
that thing. There were rumors not only that he had an affair with her, but that Alexei was actually his kid,
Oh.
Oh.
timeline-wise doesn't really make sense. But still.
People love the rumor mill in Russia at this time. Just
Guess
a
so.
churning. So, how long? When did he die? Was it during the war?
1916 during the war, right before the Russian Revolution. So the Russian Revolution, where Lenin eventually, there are kind of two, but the second one is where Lenin takes over, is what it happens during World War I, and then shortly after that, Russia signs a treaty with Germany getting out of the war. They're basically just like, well, we got too much shit going on at home.
Yeah.
We can't be fighting the rest of the world.
We got a lot going
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Did this Yusuf guy go on to do anything?
He eventually made his way to America, I think, and like was basically making a reputation for himself as the guy who killed Rasputin.
Good
Oh
for
my
him.
God! Wow.
Yeah. I don't think he
What a
ever went to
credit.
like jail or anything.
What a
like that.
credit.
Yeah, it's a huge credit.
Probably got booked everywhere.
Out of town and a big credit. Wow.
You're on every lineup in New York
Oh
City.
yeah, for sure.
There are also rumors that he was a spy during the war. Again, this might be a
Sick.
different thing, but Alexandra, we were talking about everyone being related. She was actually German. She was also the granddaughter of Queen Victoria, the Queen of England. So everything is fucking, incestual. Then she marries Nicholas, the Russian Tsar. So, but because she's German, people think that maybe during the war she's in with the Germans, with the opposite
Oh.
side,
Mm-hmm.
and that Rasputin and she are spies, and that they're fighting for the Germans.
Interesting.
There's
Okay.
also a theory that Yusupov didn't kill him, but actually it was a British spy mission during the war to kill him.
That's the king's man.
Oh, that's the Kingsman.
Yeah.
So that's the. I don't know if it's real, but it's a real rumor. Like that, they didn't make up that.
So they didn't make
theory.
that up. I
Yeah.
thought they just they borrowed it, like ripped from the headlines kind of thing. But no, that's the whole thing.
Yeah. So I thought it would be a good topic, even though this episode is 4 minutes long. I thought that.
How long have we been recording?
I don't know. It feels short.
Like 25 minutes.
Hey, that's an episode.
That's you got ourselves a stew.
So did he like predict shit? Like, because he's mystical. Like, what else was mystical about
One
him?
big thing that he predicted, which maybe people could have predicted anyway, but he basically said to the Tsar, don't go into World War I. If you go into World War I, you're not going to be in power for very long.
And that was true.
And that was 100%
He was
true.
right.
Yeah.
He might just be like a good military
He might
strategist.
just be
though.
just a pundit. Yeah.
Right.
But did he heal anybody else, or was it just the hemophilia?
Apparently, he was like healing people. Yeah.
Just left and right.
People believed him. That's for sure. And yes, Russia at this time was willing to believe people. He
Right.
wasn't actually even the first, you could say, charlatan, like first guy to really infiltrate the royal. There was a guy named Monsieur Philippe, some French guy beforehand, who also claimed it was before Alexei was born. His big claim to fame was that he was going to be able to produce a boy for them because they kept on
Okay.
having girls.
Mm.
One of the girls, Anastasia, also a mystery.
Oh, right.
person.
Famously came back, supposedly, but
Yep.
wasn't.
Yeah. So all this stuff, there's a lot of mystery in this time
Russia's
period.
too big.
It's just too big.
It's,
It's too big. Too many Yetis and things.
Yetis,
You
yeah.
know.
Big gray people.
We also did, what was the other one? Oh, Dyatlov's Pass.
Oh.
That was also me.
That was.
That was you.
And Havana syndrome was me, who I guess.
Wait, no, Dyatlov. That was mine.
You sure?
Stop
Yeah.
taking credit for other people's work.
I could have sworn I was Dyatlov, but I guess you're right.
I think it was me.
No, I think it might have been him because I remember him asking his dad how to pronounce it.
Yeah, but that could have
Yeah,
been.
but I think that was just in general.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway.
That's the real mystery of this episode.
Listen back to it.
Well,
Havana syndrome was me.
That was you.
Yeah.
That was
Okay.
it. Right.
Did we figure that out yet? Havana
No,
syndrome?
and there was actually some cases of Havana syndrome recently. I saw a headline and then
Pops up every few months.
It does.
Well, since it's the Russians, isn't that like going to be a big thing that they did it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
God bless.
Russia's taking a real L right now. Or is that propaganda? I don't really know what's going on with the war.
No, they're the good guys. Yeah, no, you've been. Yeah.
No, aren't they like losing big time?
They say that they've been losing, but I don't know. It's
How can that even be possible? I don't even get it.
Ukraine's tiny.
Yeah.
I'll
It's
say
like
this.
14 people that live
I don't
in
understand anything.
Or Ukraine's not tiny. Ukraine's tiny compared to Russia. Then if you actually look at a map of Ukraine, it's like bigger than Texas, or maybe it's the size of Texas. I'm not sure. It's big.
It might be bigger.
You think so?
Yeah.
It's probably.
Probably
It's
the size
big.
of like Spain. It's like pretty big.
It's bigger than Spain. Yeah.
Yeah, it's bigger than Spain.
Yeah.
Spain's bigger than Texas.
You're
right?
saying things. Hold on. Okay, so where's Ukraine? I'm pulling out the map on my arm, and I don't know what I'm looking at. So okay, there it is. Okay. Oh,
Wow.
that's good. What do you think Rasputin would be doing today?
Oh man, he'd be on TikTok. He'd be huge on
Yeah.
TikTok.
Maybe like a Joel Osteen kind of guy.
Wow.
Or no. One of these like one of the preachers of the people that Mike dates.
Oh
Like
yeah.
one of these, like, charismatic.
Like what's the
Yeah.
Hillsong? The Hillsong, the
Hillsong-
rapist church.
yeah,
the
rapist
the
church,
rapist
yeah.
church.
Maybe Scientologist. He might be a
Oh,
Scientology leader.
yeah, that's
Oh
good.
yeah, he's Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Because that's also like to the elites. I actually kind of like that.
Wow,
Interesting,
that's
yeah.
actually really smart.
Scientologist leader.
The Church of Rasputin.
Yep.
Scientology is so fucking weird. We should do an episode. What goes on in there?
Oh, we should.
We should go. What goes on in there? And also for each celebrity, you know how they have like blackmail on them, and they're like,
Yeah.
if you ever try to leave
What's
the
And
church,
then we
Blackmail.
posit what's
Yeah.
the blackmail.
what's the blackmail?
Yeah.
That's fun.
But we wouldn't guess. We would posit what the blackmail is.
I'm using
my guy brought us the thesaurus today.
my vernacular today.
Oh, wow. Verbose.
Wait, vernacular was not the right word. Lexicon. My lexicon.
Okay.
Oh my god.
We're all exhausted.
Everyone at home was looking up vernacular and being like, this dumb fuck. I am sweating. I don't know why I'm so hot.
Under the hot seat. It's
Yeah.
Rasputin
I have been
from the
hot
grave.
for hours now. Last night, we were hot for hours on end. On stage was wicked hot, and then that restaurant we went to was wicked hot. and
It
now
was
I'm hot.
so warm in that bar.
was so warm.
I've transitioned to T-shirt max because I'd rather be cold outside than warm inside. That's where I'm
Can
at.
I say something?
Yeah.
I prefer T-shirt Max.
Get out of town. You don't like Sweater Max?
I didn't say I don't like Sweater Max. But he can get a little moody.
When I get overheated, I get upset, and I know that about me. And this is
You
me taking
do
the.
get moody.
I call it. I call it wilting. I wilt if
That's
I
what happens.
overheat.
When you
even
get a little
slightly,
moody, I
wilt.
turn to Mae and I whisper, "It's a sweater."
Yeah,
Sweater
yeah.
Max.
Open a window. If you ever think I'm upset or maybe I'm getting a little sad, just kind of blow some cold air on me. That might fix it immediately.
You get so pissed.
I get unreasonably angry and I don't even like it.
Wildly specific seasonal depression.
Oh, that's fun. All right. Well, we were had.
Yo, definitely.
All
had.
of Russia was had by Rasputin.
Cool figure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
Cool.
Okay. We
Cool.
were had. Bye.
Bye.